Hey everyone, I hope everyone is staying safe due to like the circumstances and all this craziness that's going on. I actually had to come back to the United States early due to the coronavirus, and it's really unfortunate because I'd planned to make so many videos about Turkey. We were planning to go around Turkey. My mom was supposed to visit me, and we were planning to go to Cappadocia, Antalya, Fethiye, all of those cities in Turkey, and unfortunately our plans got cut short. To make a long story really short, a couple days before my mom was supposed to come to Turkey, she canceled because of the constantly changing situation, and we now realize it was definitely the best decision. Then, about a day after that, our original flights back to the US got canceled because our flight was supposed to stop in Ukraine and then Ukraine back to JFK, and I guess Ukraine had banned all foreign nationals. A couple of days before my mom was supposed to come, she was considering coming or not coming, and we really thought she was still going to end up coming. So my husband ended up flying to Azerbaijan to spend a couple of weeks with his family. And then Turkey and Azerbaijan ended up putting travel bans, and it made it complicated because my husband wouldn't be able to come back to Turkey, and we were supposed to be moving back to the US in April. And because the situation is constantly changing, we just thought it best if we left early, because if we waited until April, we don't know if there's going to be more travel bans or if the situation is going to be more complicated. That's when I decided to come back home early, and my husband is getting a direct flight from Baku, Azerbaijan to JFK, and I'm picking him up on Monday. And that's how I ended up coming back to the US early, which is really unfortunate because I really didn't want to come back early. And I actually came a day before Turkey decided to close all their cafes, malls, and shops. So I was literally in Turkey the very last day before all of this happened. So I look back on it and I think I got really, really lucky. Now, the hardest part of all of this was probably trying to move an apartment by yourself because we had accumulated so much stuff over the months. And I tried to bring back as much as I could. So I ended up getting a third suitcase. And let me tell you, by yourself carrying 3 suitcases, 1 carry-on, and 1 backpack, and 1 camera stand by yourself from Eskişehir to Istanbul on a train, on a bus, to the airport is not easy at all, especially during coronavirus because I had the worst time in the airport. On a positive note though, everyone saw me struggling with this luggage trying to haul through Turkey, and so many people came up to me offering me to help, and I didn't mind if it was a young guy trying to help me, but there was actually at one point where this old lady, probably in her 60s, offered to help carry my bags, but my bags were like 30 kilos and I felt so bad. I was like, no, like, please don't help me. Don't worry about it. And just imagine like you're carrying all this luggage and then you find out that your suitcase is ready to crack in half because, like, you know where the handle is, but it was like attached to the rest of the suitcase. So if you lifted the handle, you could see like my stuff inside. So I was so scared that, like, you know, the luggage people, they're gonna pick up my luggage by the handle and it's all gonna like spill out. So at the airport, I ended up wrapping it, thankfully, and it worked. So that was one thing that actually worked in my favor.
These are the 2 cracks in the suitcase that was giving me such bad anxiety trying to drag across Istanbul because I thought at any moment it's just gonna like completely break off and all my stuff is gonna come out. But luckily, wrapping it helped.
So I really wish I could have filmed more, but because I was so stressed and everything seemed to be going wrong, I didn't film as much as I could. So, but this is the video that I compiled together, and I hope you guys enjoy and you guys can see how the situation is going in the airports during coronavirus period.
Okay, so as we know, I'm going back to the States by myself, and this is my first luggage. It's not full, but it's almost full. I'm gonna buy some baklava and dates to bring back because I can't fit much more than that. And then this one still needs to get packed. And I still have bathroom stuff to pack. And this is suitcase number 2 over here. And I'm buying a third suitcase to somehow fit that. As for the suitcase situation, I Googled online how one person can possibly carry 3 suitcases, and I found out that if I tie a string through the handle parts, then I can like drag it like a train, which I think is what I'm gonna do. This is 32 liras in coins, and tomorrow I'm gonna go to the exchange place or maybe even the bank to see if they can like give me bills. I don't know if that's like something normal to do here. I might look like a complete weirdo, but It is what it is, you guys. I barely made this train to Istanbul. I literally had 5 minutes to spare, so for now I'm just enjoying the ride. As soon as I got to the airport, I got that broken suitcase wrapped up real quick. I mean, that suitcase only cost me 100 liras, so you can't really have high expectations. I was really surprised at how empty the airport was, but then again, you can see all those canceled flights, so it was a pretty empty airport. Honestly, you guys, I only wore this mask for 3 minutes because I couldn't breathe. This is just like an eerie coronavirus video that I found more scary than the actual flight. This is some of your typical airplane food. It doesn't look very delicious, but I ate it anyway, and it wasn't bad. Now we're just about to land in Boston. I was tired and relieved, but mostly just relieved. Mom picked me up at the airport, and now we're just going to her house. She lives about an hour outside of Boston, and there were still quite a few cars on the road. But anyway, the next day I went to my favorite cafe and was ordering some food and coffee. Well, you still can, but it's only takeout, and they bring you the food outside. And this website that they created to order online didn't exist before, so now you just pay for it online, and all you do is pick up your food from outside. And here's our food, and more importantly, our coffee. And then after, we went to the store, and as you can see, there were some hoarders and selfish people came through, so they completely wiped out the shelves. I swear that this road is like really busy when everyone is supposed to be self-isolating, and I doubt all these people are actually going to the supermarkets, you guys. Look at all of them. Are you kidding with me? Like, this, I live in the middle of nowhere. How can it be this much traffic? There's like more traffic now than there is when there is no quarantine. I really wish that we could have stayed in Turkey, and honestly, we probably would have preferred to stay in Turkey. But because my dad is in the US and he is someone who is high risk, I wanted to be there for him and help him in any way that he needed in case things did escalate, which they look like they are. Or else, if it was just me and my husband, we definitely would have just stayed in Turkey because it's much cheaper for us to live in Turkey than to try and find a place in the US right now and find a job, because it's a little bit tough right now to get a job. Now, I will still be making those videos about Turkey because I will definitely be returning to Turkey, ideally this year, but obviously this all depends on how this coronavirus plays out. For now, everyone just be safe, wash your hands, stay away from older people, self-isolate, stay away from people in general, and just be clean. And since I'm not going to be traveling for a while, my material is totally going to change from the plans that I originally had, but I'll come up with something. Now, I hope that everyone has a wonderful, perfect day despite the circumstances that we're in. Now is probably a good time to appreciate the simplicities in life, and that hopefully when one day things turn back to normal, we can appreciate the lives that we had so easily taken for granted. I'm sure there are many lessons that we can learn from this, and we do need to protect our earth, for example, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you until next time.